In the spring of 1862, Union troops approached New Orleans, ready to capture the city with little resistance. To protect the Confederate war chest from falling into the wrong hands, Confederate officers ordered all Confederate gold transferred to Columbus, Georgia for safekeeping during the war. By this time, the Confederacy's war chest amounted to millions, perhaps tens of millions of dollars. Once in Columbus, the gold entered the control of William Young and his Iron Bank. It sat there until October of 1862, when Confederate General Beauregard was ordered to transfer the gold from Columbus, Georgia. The banker refused to release the gold at first, but it was eventually taken by force. Once Beauregard took control of the gold, it disappeared from history. For the majority of the Civil War, no one knew where this Confederate gold went. After the end of the Civil War in 1865, just 3 years later, Union General Henry Halleck accused Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, of having the missing Confederate gold. Not only did Halleck claim he had millions of dollars in gold, but claimed Jefferson Davis was fleeing from capture with the gold. Halleck's accusations about Jefferson Davis were true. He had taken what was left of the Confederate treasury when he fled Richmond. But how did he know Davis was fleeing? On April 2, 1865, Jefferson Davis received a message from General Robert E. Lee. Lee warned Davis that the Confederate government should flee Richmond immediately because Union troops were on the way. That same night, 2 trains left Richmond heading south. One train carried Davis and what was left of the Confederate officials, along with other important documents. The other train carried all the cash reserves of the Confederacy. Gold, silver, coins, and jewelry donated by Confederate women were all known to be on the train. Rumors immediately surrounded Davis and his officials, accusing them of making off with millions as they fled in the middle of the night out of Richmond. Those rumors reached Halleck with haste. General Halleck claimed there to be anywhere from $6 to $13 million worth of gold in Jefferson's wagons on their way south from Goldsboro, North Carolina, to who knows where. Halleck ordered the capture of Jefferson Davis and the Confederate gold. How much Confederate treasure was actually on these trains headed south with Jefferson Davis? We just don't know. Captain William Parker, tasked with guarding the Confederate treasure, claimed to have only seen about $500,000 worth of assets under his care, but still, rumors claim the real number was in the millions. As Jefferson Davis and his crew traveled, they incurred many expenses, including several instances of paying wages to soldiers. According to historian A.J. Hanna, among the expenses were $108,000 paid to escort troops and $40,000 for supplies on the way. Interestingly, Davis not only carried all the assets from the Confederate government, but he also carried about $500,000 that belonged to the Richmond Bank. The Richmond Bank funds were deposited in a vault for safekeeping in Washington, Georgia, as Davis passed through. On May 4, 1865, after a month on the run, Jefferson Davis decided to disband the Confederate government. When he did this, he trusted 2 Navy officials to take some of the leftover Treasury funds and smuggle them to Britain. Davis thought that with enough funds, he could convince the British to invade the U.S. again. Needless to say, those Treasury funds never made it across the pond. They were without a doubt simply stolen by the 2 Navy officials in question. After stopping in Washington to offload assets, Davis and his family continued to flee south. Rumors of the group offloading gold on their travels swirled. When Davis was finally captured by Michigan cavalrymen on May 10th near Irwinville, Georgia, he only had a few dollars on his person. Stemming from Davis's capture, there are 2 prevailing theories about what happened to the Confederate treasure. The first theory is that the Michigan cavalrymen who captured Davis stole the money and took it back with them to Michigan. The second theory is that Davis and his men hid the treasure bit by bit on their travels south, even going so far as to bury small amounts in multiple spots. So what do you think happened to the lost Confederate treasure? According to the history books, the Confederate treasure was never found, but that hasn't stopped people from attempting to find it. Rumors of multiple independent discoveries of contemporary coins across Appalachia continue to pique the people's interest even today.